Where we started, where we were yesterday. Skied that south side, went over, go over to the other side of Twin, and that's where we're headed tomorrow.
We're making our way.
Yeah, I'd say spirits are way higher today.
I think everyone thinks the world their way. Everyone has their idea of how they would do the whirl in the winter.
Do the horseshoe, both ridges in a push.
I think you could probably make it like prominent points and like ski it, but then it wouldn't be like the whirl.
It would really be more of a mountaineering ice climbing event.
Would you do it in winter?
I won't.
You're kind of gonna end up mixing it up or kind of like inventing a line as you go.
I always just kind of thought of it as a summer thing.
There's a lot more freedom of movement if you have some skis.
Starting to panic that we didn't get enough tents or something.
For this trip, we're caching 2 different camps so we could move faster and ski some bigger lines with lighter packs and enjoy it.
We're headed in to go stash our gear.
Our itinerary for the trip is to ski for 4 days, camp for 3 nights.
Hopefully when we come back in a few days, our cache is still right here and all of our gear is safe and ready for us to eat and sleep in.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to start on this. It's been a long time planning, so now we get to just go walk around and go skiing, and the snow should be pretty good. And get to hang out. So the whirl is the Wasatch Ultimate Ridge link up.
The whirl is a ridge traverse. It's traversing the Cottonwood Ridge, and it wraps in a horseshoe. And along that ridge are some of the Wasatch's most iconic peaks.
Leaving from a city and driving, just a short distance up the road to then be out in this wild and remote terrain, I think it's pretty exceptional.
So the whirl in the summer, you stick to the ridge line, but in the winter, that doesn't make sense to stick to the ridge because we're skiers.
There's only been, as far as I know, 3 people who tried it, and we've never finished it. So really, Molly can do whatever she wants and call it the Whirlos.
It's exciting.
So nice to finally be out, be high in the mountains. Weather's good.
A little daunting to look over and see where we're gonna end. It's sort of a long ways away.
What I knew about the whirl was this horseshoe with quite a bit of elevation gain, and so to me it just sounded like this really fun sufferfest.
Got this.
Wasn't feeling that good this morning. Same with Lonnie.
Super low energy, but now that we're up in the Alpine, it's feeling so much better.
Yeah.
It was unfortunate that Mally came down with a cold right before the trip and wasn't feeling her strongest.
Cough drop pocket. And I suck on them while I skin. My throat hurts so bad.
What a day. See all the way over there where we came from. How you feeling, Lonnie?
Awesome.
The whirl is less of a route and more of a concept, and not many people have attempted anything like that.
Woo! We made it. Made it to our cache. There it is. So now we gotta set up the tent, make dinner, go to bed. Yeah, good day.
It's the morning, day 2. Beautiful out, we have a full moon, still warm, calm. Yeah, we're gonna go catch the sunrise on the top of a peak this morning.
I enjoy going in the mountains with Lonnie because it's pretty rare that I get to ski and move with other women.
Giggles make it so much better.
The more I've started to get out with girls, Sometimes I prefer it because it's so much more collaborative. And so having that dynamic is just a very enjoyable way to move through the mountains.
Where we were yesterday. And where we'll be tonight. Over there. And then over there. And then out.
I know Mally through the Nordic ski world. Her freshman year at Middlebury, I was a sophomore there and we were teammates.
I started Nordic skiing in 6th grade. I did this running race and the Nordic coach came up to me and asked if I wanted to be on the team, and I said yes and started doing that, and then I was hooked from there on.
She was a junior national champion. Mally was racing at the most elite level.
My goal was always to like race in the Olympics or go on to race after college.
I think one thing that's kooky about all Nordic racers is their desire to suffer. You find so much joy in just long, hard days.
I think the energy's pretty low, but
The lowest maybe it's been since yesterday morning, but I also only drank 1 cup of coffee today. That could be it too.
with my cold, I would say I'm not doing great, but I'm doing all right.
I'm just repairing a little duct tape to fix a blister. I needed this pick-me-up. I was crashing hard.
I feel like today was really a low day. Our home for the night.
Oh, it's huge in here.
Welcome. Good to see you guys.
Thank you so much for water and having us. Wow. Perking up. Mally.
I think it's rad. It's something I've never heard of. I've heard of people running it, but never skiing it. So like, I think taking the 4 days or however long you guys take to do it, I think it's pretty much like one of the sickest things ever. Yeah, you know, like, yeah, that's what I feel about it.
So it's day 3. I woke up feeling probably the worst, but today's the first day skinning. I can talk while I skin. I had a lot of time thinking how I'm gonna do this like from day 1, but my body's holding up, so that's good. And I've got great company.
This, I feel like, is just like
Bonding us for life.
yes. Where now it's like whenever I get a crazy idea, I'm like, yes, Mally's who I'm gonna call.
People who knew me as a kid find it very ironic because I actually really did not enjoy skiing as a kid. It wasn't until after college that I finally discovered my passion for alpine skiing, and it was really discovering the backcountry that I think tied, you know, the physical effort and reward of Nordic skiing with that like enjoyment of going downhill, and that's what like brought it all together.
I feel like you never really lose whatever we had that made us Nordic skiers in the first place, and it's always fun to get out with Nordic skiers.
There we are. There's the end.
So I originally got introduced to the world in the summer, and then since then I've sort of been like mildly obsessed with it.
Mally, this section makes me want to come back and run it with you. Yes, that's what I've been thinking, no way!
Yeah, so I was like really committed and focused on doing it 2 summers ago, and then I got a head cold, and you can't go and perform like a 24-hour feat if you're a little sick.
Well, she came in from a Nordic background, and she slowly started to evolve into somebody that actually wanted to go to the big mountains.
After college, I raced in a little bit and then decided I wanted to be a ski bum. I'd like always thought that would be really fun, because I was always busy training in college and being so serious. My roommate, she was going to a freeride competition and invited me, saying like, you'd probably like this. Sort of beginner's luck, I think, but I ended up getting second, so it was a ton of fun. The next year I took it a little more seriously, and in that year I finished as the overall champion for North America. And so the next year I was competing on the Freeride World Tour, traveling around Europe. I didn't re-qualify that first year, but since then I've been enjoying like learning as much as I can about skiing and moving more towards skiing more in the backcountry.
What a way to end! What's going on?
We found it. I almost panicked there for a second. I couldn't remember the tree.
What is going to be the biggest challenge? One thing I am nervous about is the winter camping and staying warm.
Yeah!
I've been out twice. I did enough winter camping to terrify me from further winter camping.
We got all our warm things
Yes.
all puffed up.
We dropped our puffy pants though, trying to drop weight.
I'm sort of scared
So
I'm cold right now.
At Camp 3, we were looking across at where we had started along the entire ridge that we had traveled. And at this point, I knew that we were gonna finish this. Where in retrospect, like looking from day one, it was intimidating and I wasn't sure if we were going to finish this.
It was definitely a day full of highs.
So that night I fell asleep and woke up in the middle of the night struggling to breathe. And I thought something was wrong with me, and I was just laying there trying to figure out strategies to breathe. And I'd recently started meditating, and so I was like practicing all these meditations that I'd been listening to try to calm myself down.
Every night going to bed, I'd cough a bunch. And then I was like struggling to breathe, but I just assumed that was because I was sick and I just was getting worse.
Finally, through my earplugs, I noticed Mally's respiration was so heavy and so strained as well. I asked her as she sat up trying to catch her breath, and she too was struggling to breathe. We thought to unzip the tent, and immediately we could breathe again. And it's like, could have been so bad, but in retrospect, it's kind of hilarious.
All I wanted to do was get fresh air, but I did not want to open our tent door because I wanted it to stay warm in here.
All those vents that we deliberately left closed because we wanted to stay warm are meant to be open in the winter, but I guess we almost suffocated ourselves.
It's so obvious now, looking back, but yeah, rookie mistake, and we learned a lesson.
Day 4. It feels good to be here and it's going to be nice to get a proper rest, but I'm also not ready for our trip to end. It's a bit windy.
Day 4, the storm was coming in. We had a few big objectives we wanted to ski, but the conditions and the weather just weren't permitting.
We're not gonna go and summit Lone Peak. Lone's the last summit of the whirl.
It looks very sporty. We've done a lot, we're pretty worked, and
Still happy without Lone. It's not really about like summiting the peaks, but instead the process of the whole trip and working together as a team. There's something special about exploring your home. This trip was an opportunity to go and explore the corners of the Wasatch that I haven't really ever been, and I don't think a lot of other people go just because it takes longer to get there, and to link it all together, it feels good.
Oh my god. Talk about an adventure ski.
Looking back up at where we came from, definitely a storm. Wouldn't be a good place to be on Lone right now. Feels good to have the boots off, warm. Yeah, Lonnie and I are already planning running the whirl. So it won't be long till we're back in this parking lot exhausted again. Cheers, Valerie. Cheers. All right. See you guys up there.
Bye.
Oh no,
not doing so well.
I almost just started crying a minute ago. I was so sad.